Hello, everybody. It's Amy and Jim.
Hi.
Welcome to Make It Monday.
Yep. It's Monday.
It's Monday, and as you can see, the little tower here, Jim's got the Serger ready to show you something fun, some flat locking. Oh, okay. Deep breath, Amy. We're good. We're good. All right. First of all, thank you, everybody who watched the Jingle and Mingle on Saturday. And if you missed the free video on doing the rescarf, go to Jingle Mingle on Facebook and just join the group. And there's tons of great videos that you can watch from a bunch of creators.
Yeah, so that wreath is great. I like that.
Yeah, so Jim just got back from Florida.
Yeah, Lakeland, Florida for the OSQE, the Original Sun Quad Expo.
Yeah.
And you still got a chance to come up and go to the one in Cleveland.
Yes, we're taking a bus. We have 2 buses going to Cleveland. We only have...
There's a couple more seats left.
Yeah.
So you need to sign up early if you want a seat.
I think maybe we have like 15-ish on there, but yes. So by all means, if you're signing up, hello, Elaine, if you're signing up for the bus trip to Cleveland from the store in Harmony to Cleveland, please sign up today at amybachman.com. Don't be wishing you came when you didn't, because there's some exciting new vendors there.
Yeah, a lot of new vendors. And this is the first time back at the IX Center.
Yes, so it's going to be great.
All new.
Pack a lunch, come comfy.
Yep.
You could buy a lunch there too, but.
Oh, yeah. And I think there still is a restaurant there, and there'll be different food vendors there also.
Yeah, but we're not going to take a bunch of potty breaks on the bus. You get 15 minutes. That's too bad. Franny girl.
Hey, Fran.
We got Colorado in the house from Cheryl.
Hey, Colorado.
Jane's here. Oklahoma.
Wow.
Fran's a localer. All right, James, what are we doing today?
Well, I had a couple people ask me in Lakeland about their flat locking because it didn't look as good as they thought. Some didn't even know what it was.
All right.
So basically, if you ever bought a sweatshirt or some t-shirts where you have that heavy stitching around, usually like the ribbing around the neckband.
Like the athletic wear?
Yeah. And there's like a lot of heavier stitching, like sometimes on the outside, if you turn on the end, you just see like rows that looks like ladders, rungs, or vice versa. That's flat locking. And a lot of times I had people comment that it didn't look as good as like my little sample here, that where it all lays nice and flat and looks good on both sides.
Yeah.
Where quite often it looks kind of ripply. So I'll do a ripple sample for you, and then I'll go and show you like how to fix it. Because a lot of times when you read your owner's manual, and I even checked the one on mine, it said to use your standard presser foot, which works great. But if you're not comfortable in steering it, because if you're off with your steering, or if you're not having your blade positioned correctly, you can get a really thick, chunky, lumpy seam.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look professional.
We don't like that. We buy expensive sergers, and a lot of times it's just a matter of holding our tongue right and looking at one place to get better results. So,
and like I said to my students last week at the expo, whenever they're saying, "Oh, that's how you do it," and I said, "Yeah, usually the issue is the not behind the wheel." Meaning like the person holding the pen.
It's usually it's usually between the sewing machine and the chair.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that we can't really say that without it sounding not polite, but sometimes it's just a little tips that you need to make sense.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's education that you didn't ask it, or maybe one person said it to you one way and you interpreted it another.
Right. I was watching someone on a video the other day, and I was taken back by the fact they didn't tell the whole story. Like they showed their sample and then they did it. But they didn't tell
what happened in between.
It happened in between. And I think it gave a false result, right? And Jim and I are always honest here. If we screw up, you know it, and we show you how to fix it, right? So that's what we're doing. So
yeah, and that's what I even said to the attendees last week. Is really a lot of it deals with finding a good dealer. And that's why I had so many people say to me, "What machine should I buy? What serger should I buy?" last week, and I said the same thing. Don't shop for a brand. Don't shop for a model. Shop for a dealer.
Right.
Get that rapport with a good dealer going and buy their brand, because even if you get the best machine in the world, the best serger in the world, if you don't know how to drive it, it's not the best for you, because you get frustrated and you're going to think it's a piece of junk when really it's probably a really good quality machine. You just don't know what buttons to push.
Right. And there's a lot of great machinery out there.
Yeah.
And if you go into a shop and no one can demonstrate that serger for you, and that's here. We have a couple that, aren't serger real serger strong. The question to ask is, do you have someone here who's the specialist? Is someone here who teaches the serger? Is there, can I have access to that person? And that's what you want. It just, we just see a lot of, it's unfortunate, right? That it's, and a lot of people have to buy online because they have no one, like they live in the middle of no man's land.
And then when you do buy online, you're really stuck because that's who you go to get your help.
Well, that's why they come here.
Yeah.
That's why they get a subscription box to the serger.
That's right.
Oh, you do your thing.
Okay.
Do we want to show the serger box?
You want to do that
project?
Sure.
You do your thing. I'll go get the mannequin.
Okay. So you're going to do your thing. I'll go do my thing.
All right. We'll do that.
We're going to switch me over to there we go. So here I'm at the serger, and I set my serger up for a basic 3-thread flat lock, and I'm using the Bernina L860 right now. And basically I just selected a stitch pattern and it set itself up for me. If you have a mechanical, basically what you want to do is have your needle at a reduced tension. So mine is set at 1.8. Your upper looper is going to be set at probably a slightly reduced tension. Mine's at 4, and your lower looper is going to be increased. It's going to go up. So in mine, it's at 7.0. So again, your needle is going to be a reduced tension. Your upper looper is going to be at a reduced tension, and your lower looper is going to be at an increased or upper, tension. And basically, when you take your fabric, I'm going to use 2 different colors here, and I'm going to put it under the foot, and I'm going to sew like I normally do, and it's going to trim off a little because I have the blade engaged. And as it goes along, it's like surging off. And let me just go and trim this here. And then when I take it and I go to pull it open, you want to go and check what the back and the front looks like. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. You can see here it's kind of wavy when I pulled it flat. See how the seam allowances are waving kind of in between there. And it's also thick. So where it wrapped over, it's a really thick kind of bulky seam. And one of the reasons I think it is because of how I guided it in. I was just kind of putting it in there and having the machine do all the work for me. But I really should have guided it more so that I had the loops come off the side just a little bit. I found out if I have little bad serging where the loops are off the edge, my seam will lay flatter. And the way to do that would be either, like in this case, I have a guide that I can adjust. So I'm going to use this guide to move it over so that my guide here is just inside the blade, or I may want to go and lower my blade. In this case, I want to have it up because I want to trim any whiskers. But if I have a clean edge, I may lower my blade. And one of the things too is that if you have a control that'll fine tune your cutting width, it also moves that stitch finger. So I could maybe play with that. But if I don't have it, again, I'll have my blade engaged and I'll take my guide and move it over to the left a little bit more so that when I restack my fabric and go to serge, I can still get a good trim. And I'll get some of the stitches coming off the edge. So as I go through here, I can serge off. And I'll see how this one's sewed out. Because I'm going to pull it flat. And check out the difference in that. It's a lot flatter all the way across. And I flip it over. Same thing there on the latter side. It's perfectly flat and I got the full width. So just by slightly reducing the cutting width of it so that my loops of thread are over the stitch finger a little more than normal, I'll get it to like really flat. If I'm doing sweatshirting, I may do it even a little more.
Yes.
But that's my little trick for that. It's either using the guide if you have it on your machine, or what you may want to do is pop on a blind hem foot because it has a built-in guide with it.
Right. A lot of machines come with a blind hem foot, and then so that top screw twists, so you can move that blade. I want to call it a blade, a rudder. Yeah, the guide, whatever you want to call it.
I like rudder because it kind of looks like a rudder.
Sled rudder. Yeah. So then you can
get it a little better lighting there. So you can see. So I have it right beside. So my raw edge is going right along that rudder, and that way I can get a really good stitch out. And that way, again, I can ensure that my threads are just off the edge just a little bit.
Yeah, so Bonnie asks, is there a guide for that with the Janome? I believe the Janome Air Threader 2000 came with one.
I think so.
I think so. Look in your box. I may be wrong, but yes, they're available for every brand because it's a very common foot.
But if they don't have it, use your blind hip foot.
Yes, so use what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, if you have an older Serger, they may not have the parts available for your Serger anymore. You have a certain model, because models always change and they might not be compatible.
I know. And that is one of my griefs as a dealer is like, oh, new machine, new feet. That's nice.
Yeah.
Brother and Janome and Bernina don't do that very often. There's a couple other brands. It's like, I can't trade in because I have everything that goes with it and doesn't go with anything else. So they do that. So Bonnie is in our Serger subscription box, and she said the tools in the box are awesome. Thank you,
Bonnie.
This was one of them. They got, I don't know what they did with the hook tool. I had it out. Anyhow, you get a hook tool and then a surgical seam ripper.
Wow.
I did. Oh, the hook tool's over there, James. And the scan and cut. You can use it with your scan and cut too. So these were the bonus tools, especially if you're like cover stitching. You get the hook and we'll need those tomorrow because tomorrow's the class. And Birdie says hi from Denver. Birdie, you may not know that, but you won one of the prizes for the wreath class that I did on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So make sure support at Amy
Congratulations.
Sews. Send me your address so I can send you the beautiful charm pack that we did. So got a question here. My machine does not have tension dials. So she has a baby lock. You have an automatic baby lock, Linda. So what you need to do is make sure you're in the right setting for flat locking.
Yeah.
There is an override. I can't get into it now, but there is an override. If you have, that's the good side and the bad side of having a totally automatic Serger.
Yeah.
Right. Because thread's different, fabric's different. Like I love to do this flat lock technique when I am like putting lace to something. So there, if you want a seam where there is zero bulk, right? This flat lock is for you. I like to flat lock elastics on.
Yeah.
Like there's a time I made my slips, my underpants, the whole 9 yards.
Thank you for sharing.
More than Jim needs to know. But we used to be able to get tricot and dyed to make elastic and lace. We used to carry it in the store. Now it's impossible. But I like that flat lock technique. Same thing when you blind hem.
Yeah.
It's still flat lock.
Yeah. And if your machine doesn't have the settings for flat lock, look up blind hem. It's the same.
It's the same, kind of the same.
And and if your machine doesn't have the guide available for it, use your blind hem foot. If you don't have one, please get one off your local dealer and not online, because quite often generic feet don't fit as well.
Right.
And what they don't tell you quite often is if you put a generic product on your machine and then it has an issue requiring service, you pretty much voided your warranty. So you want to support your local dealer and get the foot from them because they won't steer you wrong. They'll get you the right foot for it.
I switched the wreath out. Of course, you can't see the tails on this because the wreath is so long, but that was the project. The wreath scarf or wrap was Jingle Mingle. And then behind me is the Serger Box project for this month. It's a travel wrap with a passport. Come on, Gertrude, get up there.
Pocket.
Yeah. So it is a loop through here that you put your excess fabric. So this can be fluffed up and go around your shoulders. But in here is your passport, your driver's license, your boarding passes, your cell phone, things you want to keep close. I don't like my carry-on under my feet. So I always put it up above. And this way my gum, whatever I need is right here. And I have this wrap because inevitably you get cold air blowing on the top of your head.
And you could pull off your head. And
I'm rarely cold, but some when we were flying to Japan on the Janome trip, let me tell you something. That plane was an iceberg. And I was grateful I had a wrap, but Jim and I designed this. So, and then this is the perfect surface for embellishment. Right?
And you know what? That's kind of sneaky because this technically isn't a carry-on. It's a piece of garment.
It's a garment, right? And if you wore this the other way off to the side or down lower, nobody would even notice that that's what that is. Or you put it on when you get on the plane and nobody would know. They just think it's, hey, when people travel, you see them in their damn pajamas, they got their blanket, they have their pillow, they have their whoopee, they have their Starbucks, they have their carry-on, and then they can't lift it up there on top because it's 400 pounds and she's 5'4" 5 foot even.
Or 4 foot.
Or 4 foot even, and 100 pounds soaking wet, or she's 90 years old and can't get it up, can't get it down.
And
It
and the crew are not supposed to do it anymore.
Right. They're not supposed to lift. So I always help the little old ladies. If you're a young one and you pack all that crap and can't pick it up, I don't care what happens to you.
Yeah.
But the little old ladies, we
Check
help,
it next time.
out. Right. But as much as I travel, the thought of how people travel make me crazy. And then the person who brings a fish sandwich and eats it an hour into the flight, and that's all you smell.
But enough about Margie. Okay.
Enough about, oh my God.
And Susie said just the same thing. It's a perfect place for embroidery.
Perfect place for embroidery, and then or flat locking with your serger, pin tucking, making a plaid out of threads. I'm going to be working on that this afternoon. We're going to cut one out.
Or even if a person was a quilter and they wanted to do a quilt patch.
Patchwork, James.
Yes.
How many strange, odd quilt blocks do you have laying around? Like the test.
Yeah, the test one's perfect
block.
for it.
It's perfect for that. Sharon's showing up today. I wonder if she has anything with her. We'll just seal her blocks.
Either that or I'll be making a quilt block this afternoon for tomorrow's class.
All right, who's Susie said? That's me, 5 foot. It's okay as long as you don't put 75 pounds in that carrying.
Well, you know why some people are only like say 4'5" or 5 foot,
Right.
whatever, and other ones are like 6 foot, 6.5, because some people took longer to reach perfection than others.
Oh, is that?
That's why. That's why some people are taller than others. It took us longer to reach perfection.
Jan, you still in Georgia? I know you. I saw a picture of you and Jim. So Jan is an awesome sewer crafter.
Yes.
She's so fun. We love that. Okay, let's see. We got another. I love your comments. I bought 3 colors of cotton canvas Friday. Make several more of the clutches that we made in the serger box. Yay!
Oh, great.
I love being able to do this on the serger. I know. We love our serger here. If you want more information about joining the serger subscription, you can get class only, or you can get class and the goodies, right?
Yeah.
So everything in your box included this, including there's a pattern available and all kinds of things. Just go to amysews.com. You're going to have to hop on the wait list because we have not opened up the box yet for new members. So we just get on there because there's so much excitement. We feel that so many in because of getting product. And if you're interested in the scan and cut box, I think the offer ends tomorrow. Well, I don't have the link. The Jingle Mingle link, I put a bonus link in for the scan and cut box, but you can always get on the wait list at amysews.com for that too. So, Jim's home for a week.
No, until Cleveland.
So Jim will be at the Cleveland IX Center. We're taking our buses so we can spam them.
And I'm going to check my schedule because if I'm teaching after you arrive, I'll meet you guys when you come back.
Oh, perfect. That would be awesome. Everyone would love that.
Yeah. You'll get an official greeter.
I know everybody's checking in from I got to get a hold of them to get my tickets for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Jim. Poor Bonnie's 4'9". So, but if I saw Bonnie in a plane, would you like me to lift that up? First, it does 2 things. Keeps me from getting hurt because I'm sitting right below you.
That's true.
It saves me from, getting hurt. And then I'd rather put it up there for you. So,
yeah, because I've seen quite a few people this past week with luggage. I was like, shouldn't have that been checked?
Flying is not what it used to be.
No.
I remember I still get dressed up when I fly to a certain degree. I'm comfortable. But this whole pajama thing and bare feet, flip-flops kill me. Anyhow. That's a pet peeve we probably shouldn't be talking about on Make It Monday. All right, everybody, have a terrific week.
Yep.
Amy and Jim here for Amy Sews, Amy Bachman Sew and Quilt, Jim at the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo.
Is that everything?
I don't know. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday because the more you know.
The more you sew.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.